Hello and welcome back to another video. So you join me here cleaning this rear frame section. What I'm trying to do now is get a few bits put back on the bike so I can install the wiring loom. So I started off with the muck off motorcycle cleaner, but I've now found that the WD-40 and a soft bristle brush is working pretty good, especially getting into those welds and bits like that. For those of you who are new to the channel, this is my 1999 GSXR 600 that had been left in storage for 20 years. So what I've done is stripped down the bike and I'm now kind of cleaning bits and putting it back together. Today's aim is to get the wiring loom put back in and get as many bits put back on the bike as I can. I've put a link in the description if you want to see the previous videos and watch this build series from the start. I've now moved on to this front fairing bracket. This actually holds the instrument cluster on the bike, so anything like this that I can get on the bike that the loom will connect to is a good place to start. So then you can see where the loom needs to reach to, where it plugs in, and if there's anything like this that it can clip to secure it. So next up is this rectifier module. Again, good clean, get it on the bike, and it's another fixed point where I know that the loom plugs into. So I'm going to start with this small section of loom first. Basically I'm just going to work my way through all of the electrical connectors, making sure all the cables are tight, there's no corrosion on any of the pins, and just give it a good clean really. Towards the end of this I remove a lot of the sticky old tape that's on there and replace it with some nice new fresh fabric loom tape. So this here, what I'm cleaning, is the thermostat for the carburetor heaters. So this piece of loom will actually be added at the end, but for now I'm just working my way through all of the sections of wiring loom. So now on to this next section of loom. This actually goes in the front fairing. It's got a fuse block there, and this big connector I'm now cleaning connects to the main harness. So yeah, this all needs quite a good clean. You can see where it is on the bike, picks up a lot of dirt. So same again, working my way through all of the contacts with contact cleaner, just making sure everything is okay. There was a few pins slightly corroded, but nothing needs to be replaced because it's cleaned up okay. So another piece here that I can get bolted to the bike, this is the main start relay and the positive terminal that goes on the battery. So again, all just a good clean. A lot of this is sort of pretty dusty. This is all sort of inside the seat, so it's not too bad. But you can see there on that plastic Copex, there's a lot of dust and dirt that just needs to be wiped off. So I'm now working my way through the main loom. As you'll see here, there's a lot of connectors on this one. So I've sped this up quite a lot. It did take sort of 2 to 3 hours, but what I'm doing is working my way through every single connector, every plug, checking the cables are tight, checking the pins are intact and in the correct position, and making sure there's no corrosion. So I clean every single one, regardless whether it needs it or not, and then towards the end I remove a lot of the old sticky insulation tape and replace it with some new fabric loom tape to make it look better and to give it a bit more protection. So that is the wiring loom ready to go. So before I install the wiring loom, I'm going to reinstall the rear upper frame and the battery tray. So this all needs a very good clean. I'm now going to remove this small bracket in the top here. It's riveted in, so I just need to drill it out as it needs to come out because it needs a paint. That's not looking too good. So as you've seen here, I've tried a few things on this now. This is the storage compartment underneath the rear pillion seat. I just can't get it looking how it should do. Tried a few things, so if anyone's got any good ideas, let me know in the comments. Be much appreciated. So I'm now using a plastic clean on this. As you can see, that's not really touched it. It's just made it sort of shiny on the inside there. It's made the sides look pretty good though. So yeah, happy with the result of that. So first of all, I'm going to remove the lock because I've got replacement here. So that is the same as that, it's just got a different, comes with this bracket that I don't need. So I'll move the wire over to this one, remove the bracket, and then bolt that back onto the frame. So another thing I'm going to do with this, obviously this goes on the bike that way up, and you can see these luggage hooks just stick down below the rear fairing. I'm never going to use those, can't imagine anyone does, so I'm going to just take a grinder, slit these and remove them. This part you won't be able to see unless you actually look underneath the bike. And I'm also looking to get a rear under tray to cover all of this anyway. So I'm going to take these off, give it a clean, put the lock back on, and then we can look to fit this and the battery tray. So that is the luggage hooks removed. So that is now ready to go back on the bike and hold in the battery tray. So I think this should actually go above this. So I'm going to change that. So I think it actually does that. Like that. That makes more sense. So I'm now ready to install the wiring loom. As you can see, it's all clean, ready to go. So it's a good idea to have fixed parts like the ECU, the regulator, so you can start there, connect those and work the loom away. So to start with, I'll plug those in, work it away, lay it in loosely, and then see where I need to sort of tie it and secure it. So I can see here I've got this clip that goes in the back of this bracket, so that'll be my start point. So I can lay that in like so. So that goes around and connects onto there. So it's good to have bits like that so you can see exactly how it should be. So I know I've not completed that, but I know that is how far the loom needs to go there. So now I can start running in these other bits. So I know this bit here goes around the engine that way. So I'll leave that loosely like that. So I'm going to get a tie wrap on there just to secure that. And then this long section of the loom here just drops down behind the coolant bottle. So I can feed that down through this gap here. So that all fits into place pretty good like that. So this is the battery cable that comes up here. That's the main earth cable. So like I say, just running it in loosely, knowing where bits go. These are obviously for the coil pack, so then they come up here. This is for the throttle position sensor, so that goes there. So bits like that, plug in so you know that is what you're working with really. So again, these are numbered, and it's a good thing to get something like this plugged in, so you know lengthwise you're okay with the rest of the loom. So that goes like that. Nothing's too tight. Everything fits good. Not worried about getting every little thing plugged in at the moment. It's more just getting the main loom in place. So now with this section here, I can see I've got this hook here that secured the loom, and I know this tie wrapped onto there, which didn't seem great, but in this section here, tucks just underneath the radiator. You got that is the radiator stat, and then that goes over to the ignition. That's your horn. So this now all needs to pass through, and then it just tie wraps onto there like that. So it comes up and just tucks underneath this bracket here. So that needs to just pass through. So again, just kind of getting things in a position where you know roughly they go. The cable ties on there. So I know this one here plugs into this, so that's gone behind the bottle. That plugs in. I'm going to make sure everything is fully sort of seated, and then now I can, bits like that, I know that's how they go. I've got this loom here. This is the heaters for the carbs, so I know that comes through there as well. So I know that comes through, that hooks on there as well. And that will also probably go in with this one, I'd say.
We're going to put a few tie wraps on this to tidy it up at some point, but for now I think that's okay as it is. So this one goes back in that way. So I say, because of the way the bend is in that goes something a bit like that. So this cable passes along here underneath this bar, which had a few tie wraps on again. And it actually comes out the other side of the fan. So that just needs to all pass through. So here you've got the fan cable plugs together, and that just kind of ties up there all together. Obviously, you've got to make sure the cables are nowhere near the fan, which is why you've got this bar here. Just put a couple of tie wraps and hold the loom up on the underside of that. So on this side, that plugs in there. Then I've got the horn cable, which obviously the horn is just there, and this is for the ignition. So yeah, that's the majority of the loom in place. These bits here plug into the small piece of loom that goes to the front fairing and the little fuse box, which is this one here. So that plugs together with that and then goes up the front. I'm not going to fit that for now because that'll just be hanging there till I fit the front fairing. That can stay as it is. Just make sure the fan isn't anywhere near any of the cables, which it's not. So I've got a positive and a negative posts in place, so I'm ready to put the battery in. This is all dressed round. These need to just plug into the heaters here. You got the sensors, both sides. So I've just got to put that onto the main earth there, onto the gearbox. This is all in position. Got to reroute these pipes. So yeah, a couple more tie wraps in here. and just a few more little bits here to tidy up. So that's the main earth connected, that's the starter motor positive connected. So I'll just cut a few of these tie wraps off. So just looking around, the only thing I've got left over here is the plug here for the fuel tank. Everything else is connected, everything else is tight, secure, nothing's loose. So yeah, that is looking pretty good. Just need to maybe tidy these up a little bit, but I'm not so worried for now. At least that's all clear, that area is clear. So yeah, still a little way to go, but all in all, so far so good. So that's as far as I'm going to go for this video. So if you're still here, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.